Hello, coming up tonight, one of the most controversial finishes to a match this season. It's a Skol Cup semi-final from Hampden Park between Aberdeen and Celtic. And after the final whistle, one of the managers launched a scathing attack on an opposition player. And joining me tonight in the studio is Davy Provan. Davy, quite a match we saw tonight.
It was a great game, Jim. Probably the best game I've seen this season. A lot of good football. A very controversial ending, of course, and I think it was a game which made the 45,000 fans forget about the miserable weather.
Sure did, Davy. It's just coming up in just a moment. But first news that Rangers owner David Murray has stepped in to help Scots-born businessman Michael Knighton with his takeover of Manchester United. It's reported that Murray has introduced Knighton to the cream of Scottish bankers in order to ensure the £20 million deal goes ahead. But Murray emphasised that his one love in football is Rangers. Knighton has run into trouble following the withdrawal from the deal of two of his financial backers. And later in the programme tonight, we'll have the best of the action from the British Super Middleweight Boxing Championship from Belfast. But now to that Skol Cup semi-final at Hampden Park. The Dons were out to reach their third successive final, though disappointingly for them, they'd lost the last two to Rangers. For Celtic, it was a chance to get into a final they hadn't won since season 82-83. Let's join match commentator Jock Brown.
Aberdeen have Ian Cameron, their £300,000 signing from St Mirren, fit to add a new dimension to their play, and he could be the partner up front for Charlie Nicholas, with the scoring midfield men Craig Robertson and Paul Mason in support. Theo Snelders suffered the disappointment of losing his first big final in Scotland a year ago, and he'll be a key man in Aberdeen's bid to qualify to play Rangers again in the final this year. And the same applies to Jim Bett, who's right back to the form which has earned him 20 caps. And his creative play in midfield could have a vital bearing on the outcome of the match. And Celtic have dealt with the absence of Derek White and Peter Grant through suspension by deploying Roy Aitken beside Steve McCahill in central defence, with Tommy Bonds adding his experience to Steve Fulton's youthful talent in midfield. And Jackie Jikanovski was withdrawn early from the hectic battle at Tannadice on Saturday, but he'll relish Hampden's wide open spaces tonight in his bid to add to his impressive goal tally. And Chris Morris crashed back to scoring form on Saturday with that great long-range effort against Dundee United, and he's another player who'll relish the big occasion. And the referee tonight, Mr. Brian McGinley from Balfron, handling his sixth League Cup semi-final. He's handled two finals, a very experienced official. There have been some titanic tussles between these two clubs in recent years. This is expected to be no different, with Aberdeen bidding for their third consecutive final and Celtic trying to overcome something of a League Cup jinx. They haven't won this competition since 1982, and Charlie Nicholas is one of their goal scorers. Nicholas tonight playing for Aberdeen. As Jim Bett turns the long ball back to Snelders, the keeper will welcome that early touch of the ball in these extremely difficult conditions. Nicholas doing well, judging the high ball. Rogan's clearance gives the throw to Aberdeen. So Aberdeen with Paul Mason on the right, Craig Robertson and Jim Bett in the middle, and Robert Connell on the left side of the midfield. Ian Cameron has joined Charlie Nicholas to the middle up front in a 4-4-2 formation. Bett across to Robertson. There's Connor. Good play. There's Robertson with the cross. And a fine clearing header there by Anton Rogan as Robertson came in. Well, great football there from Aberdeen. That gives their fans a lot of encouragement early on. They've travelled a long way for this. And this was a magnificent piece of football. A pass from Connor exploiting the pace of David Robertson. The first time cross, Craig Robertson coming in. And that's fine play by Rogan. Here's Jikanovski looking for Coyne. The Aberdeen fullbacks noted for their ability to come inside and cover the middle of the defence. There was McKimmie. This is Bett. And Alec McLeish with the header. Jikanovski was going in behind him to cut off the pass intended for Snelders. Morris couldn't control it. Here's Galloway. Trying to tempt David Robertson into a challenge. It's swept away in the end by Cameron. Well, almost a very bad error. Aberdeen with that pass back, which Alec McLeish had to head to safety. The pushing there by Miller on Jikanowski. A free kick to Celtic. Taken shot to Morris. Galloway to Jikanowski. Fine play from Celtic. Craig Robertson was there. There's Morris. Controlled and cleared there by Robertson. David Robertson, that is. The noise you hear coming from the Celtic supporters. Ball finds its way to Jikanowski. That's a great turn. That is brilliantly saved by Snelders. Wow, an incident full of European implications. Here was Jikanowski, the Polish striker, outside the box. A turn away there from David Robertson, and it's Snelders, the Dutch goalkeeper, who saves. Steve Fulton preparing to take the in-swinger. Right to the far side it goes. Coyne getting up there well with Rogan, who got the final touch, I think. Nicholas causing problems again in the air for McCahill. That's good play by Mason. He's well tackled there by Rogan. Some time now for David Robertson. Cameron takes possession. McKimmie making an angle on the far side. Mason's onside. A great chance now for Aberdeen. There's Nicholas. And the header goes over the bar, but the referee has given a decision Aberdeen's way. Fine ball into space there for Paul Mason. A delicate little chip. Nicholas was there. He was closely marked. Misjudged by McKimmie, but it can be returned now by Willie Miller. Clearing header by McCahill, and a very important one because Cameron was going in. Variation this time. Back it goes to Miller. The looped cross. There's Craig Robertson making that blind side run, which he performed so well, and it almost paid off. Miller trying to find him. There was Craig Robertson, and it was just out of reach. Jikanowski looking for Coyne. He's in behind Willie Miller. On the far side is Fulton. Now attacking McKimmie. Tommy Barnes with a cross. Miller nodded out. There's Ian Cameron. Pulling it up the line, trying to find Charlie Nicholas. It's won by Morris. This is Galloway. Robertson looking for Nicholas. This is Mason. Now Nicholas again. Back to Mason. Good play from Aberdeen in attack. Paul Mason still has Nicholas available in the box. Well, certainly not a bad effort from a young man currently full of scoring confidence. Paul Mason has scored 5 times so far this season for Aberdeen from midfield. Coming inside, he had Nicholas available, but tried to test Pat Bonner with a shot. It's Cameron again for Aberdeen. Brilliant play on the right. Cameron and Mason together. Still Ian Cameron. Now Nicholas. Mason again. Well, the final ball was intended for Robert Connor, but that was delightful football again from Aberdeen, inspired by Ian Cameron. Long ball forward from Rogan. Well, that very substantial transfer fee paid by Alex Smith to St Mirren for Ian Cameron is showing signs that it will pay dividends. An opening for Chris Morris. The early ball inside. Well, right to the other end after Aberdeen had looked so menacing. Celtic got close to the opener. Tchanovsky with the pass. Here was Chris Morris in space, playing it in early, looking for the player on the run. Tommy Coyne was there, and it couldn't be directed on target. Miller to McLeish. Inside is Jim Bett. That's a bad error by Bett. Here's Coyne with Tchanovsky's a great chance for Celtic. Bett is back defending, and the ball goes wide. Well, what a relief for Jim Bett. Bett taking a little bit of stick there from McLeish and Miller for the error. Just gave that to Tommy Coyne. Willie Miller was the last man there. Tchanovsky coming in from the left. Look how Miller holds off. Keeps himself between the man and the goal. Free kick taken very quickly, not from the right place. There's Steve Fulton. And Miller nudges the ball back to Snelders as Coyne slides in. Well, I reckon had that resulted in a goal, there would have been a lot of trouble for referee McKinley, because the free kick was taken from at least 5 yards too far forward. Cameron with a touch on. Back carefully by McCahill. So into time added on for stoppages in what has been an excellent first half. Despite the lack of goals, there has been some top-class football in evidence from both sides. The match swinging first one way, then the other. Each side having a spell on top. And there goes the half-time whistle. No scoring, but some great play. With Ian Cameron outstanding up front for Aberdeen. So at half-time here at Hampden, it's Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0. But don't go away, there's more action to come. Same in this second half as Aberdeen get the match back underway. There goes Ian Cameron with Craig Robertson. Well, Aberdeen starting the second half as though they really mean business. That was a magnificent move right through the middle of the Celtic defence, catching them cold. There was Craig Robertson to Ian Cameron. Look at the way he goes through this gap. Then Craig Robertson with a shot, and what a let-off for Celtic. Clearance by Pat Bonner, and that chance for Aberdeen coming before Celtic's substitute for the second half had a touch. They brought on Joe Miller for the second half. That will inject some new impetus to their attack. There he is over to the right side of their attack. Steve Fulton is the player. He is replaced. Galloway. Stay towards Miller, but asking too much there of Galloway. Nicholas leaving that to Cameron. He gets it back. There's Paul Mason. McKimmie goes outside. But enough chance there for Anton Rogan to make the clearance. Mason hooking it across goal. There's McCahill. Left with little option. Great ball in by Paul Mason. McCahill kept cool inside the box. Clearance. McLeish makes his way forward to the corner of the box. Connor lofts it in. Up goes Bonner. That's a good catch. Joe Miller with Jim Bett. And a very dramatic fall by Miller. Well, let's see if the referee takes that on. No, he wasn't deceived. Jim Bett doing well, getting back to match the run made there by Joe Miller. There was the pass back. Miller could have gone on, I think, and then made that dramatic dive. Jimmy. Aitken's clearance. McKimmie was very determined, winning that back from Coyne. Nicholas makes the turn. Mason on the right. Return pass for Mason. The offside flag was up. Mason and Nicholas slicing through the Celtic defence. The flag was up on the near side, although the referee didn't spot that. There's Joe Miller playing it forward with Jiganovski, and Willie Miller goes across. Well, how often he's done that so effectively for Aberdeen. Jiganovski looking menacing again. There was Mason playing it to Nicholas, going for the return pass. The flag was up, and it must have been extremely questionable, to say the least. Off goes Craig Robertson, carrying a little bit of a limp. And the replacement is Brian Grant. So that's a straight replacement. He'll go right into Robertson's place in midfield. Kick off the head of Mike Galloway. Jiganovski chases it. He's won it from Connor. Back to Burns. Headed away by McLeish to McStay. He holds his head in misery, Paul McStay. By no means an easy chance, but one which he would expect to do much better with. There's Jiganovski laying it back towards Tommy Burns, who got his foot to the ball. McLeish was there. McStay let it drop. The shot is high. Bet eased off the ball by Rogan. Miller blocks the shot. Loose ball's now falling to Celtic players for the moment. Jiganovski to Coyne. McKimmie leans into Tommy Coyne as Miller tidies up. The Celtic fans incensed about that. They think there should have been a foul. Referee McGinley certainly was very close to the play to make up his mind about that. It was a good opening that for Celtic. There's Willie Miller. Over the far side. Joe Miller get a touch. Back it goes to Robertson. Cameron now striding forward. Grant goes through the middle. Here's Cameron going all the way himself, linking with Grant. Trying to set that up for Charlie Nicholas. The match being played now at a hectic pace. No let up at all. Here goes Joe Miller. Tackled well by Robertson. Mason goes back to retrieve. Nicholas tried to stay onside, he didn't quite make it. Celtic pushing forward very quickly indeed. Well, a moment of some controversy there as Tommy Coyne went driving into the box. Miller coming across to make a tackle. He seemed to be leaned on by Stuart McKimmie as Miller came in. Mason, Nicholas, holding off McCahill, trying to make the turn. He thinks he was fouled, Charlie Nicholas. Aberdeen still have possession. Here's Cameron. Connor cuts off the pass back, forces Aiken to turn. Galloway. Coyne was fouled by McLeish. Free kick quickly taken to Jiganovski. Trying to shake off Willie Miller. Jiganovski making the angle. Wow, what a welcome addition he is to the entertainment in Scottish football. Goes wide to take possession. Willie Miller is close to him. Very experienced, wily campaigner, one of the best penalty box defenders in the country. But look how Jiganovski finds space to rifle that across the face of the goal. Ian Cameron now strides forward, that rangy movement. There's Connor. Cameron again. Looking for McKimmie. Back it goes to Grant. Nicholas, and Bonner with two fine saves. Well, Bonner, a very relieved goalkeeper. But it was great play from Aberdeen coming forward. Cameron's pass, finding Stuart McKimmie. The layoff into the path of Brian Grant. The shot blocked, and there was Nicholas. Coyne's head flick. Here's Connor. David Robertson has sprinted forward on the left. Cameron to Bet. It's back now with McLeish. Delightful little ball forward. Here's Cameron on his left foot. Cameron breaks a deadlock for Aberdeen. 16 minutes left for play. And the long trip from the north proved worthwhile by that Magnificent opening goal. The pass from McLeish, chipped in there to Brian Grant. The head flick down. Look at the control here from Cameron. Then the rifling left foot shot, leaving Bonner stranded. Well, Cameron, already with that goal, could well have repaid the transfer fee from St Mirren. Alex Smith knew all about his qualities from the time he spent as St Mirren manager, and now Aberdeen have reaped the benefit. There's McLeish. Nicholas sets off. Can he take on McCahill? Nicholas against McCahill. And that's a good ball across goal. Grant was too deep. Nicholas making space for himself inside the Celtic box. There he goes with McCahill, looking for help inside. It was Brian Grant who appeared in the scene very late, and there he goes, number 12. And he's too far away when the ball comes across. So Aberdeen now quarter an hour away from their third consecutive Skol Cup final. Celtic will make another substitution. They now have to go for Brock. They're going to introduce Andy Walker. And that's a very unusual sight. They're taking off Joe Miller. He doesn't appear to be too happy about that. And then you can tell from that he's extremely unhappy about being withdrawn. Blunder is the Celtic man in a hurry, and Aberdeen will make another substitution. And they're bringing off Ian Cameron, who's been one of the undoubted heroes of the night for Aberdeen. He scored a goal which would grace Hampden on any occasion. He's done his work, and he's now replaced by the powerful figure of Willem van der Ark. There's Burns. Can Celtic come back from the dead? The seconds ticking away now. Aberdeen really have handled things extremely well from the point where they took the lead 16 minutes from the end. Can they continue in that vein, or will Celtic produce something out of the fire they have done so often in cup matches? Played against William Miller, appeals for handball, but the referee deciding the ball played the man. There's Nicholas. Bett has gone on a run in the left. Here's Jim Bett, striding forward, looking for support inside, going all the way himself. And down he goes, it's Roy Aitken, and Roy Aitken is going to be ordered off. Bett going down. Aitken clearly believes that Bett's play acted. That's why he's lost his head. But it's a red card for the Celtic captain in the dying minute. Alec McLeish, I think, is arguing Aitken's case. But it will cut no ice. Aitken would be well advised to stop the protests. McLeish, who's very friendly, I can tell you, with Roy Aitken international duty, trying to calm down his Celtic counterpart. And what a dramatic finish. Roy Aitken clearly thinks that Jim Bett dived to deceive the referee. Well, let's see this again. It was great play by Jim Bett, taking from that defensive role, now going at Aitken, taking it past him. Well, it certainly looked as though he was caught by Aitken. And the referee has ordered the Celtic captain from the field. Well, it really would take a miracle now for Celtic. Can they produce one? There's Walker. And Galloway. Jakunovski sets off. David Robertson. Fit, young and fresh. And a very good fullback indeed. And there goes the final whistle. Aberdeen are through to the Skol Cup final. It'll be Rangers against Aberdeen for the third time in a row.
Ian Cameron, you look pretty weary, but it was some goal to win the semi-final against Celtic. You must be well pleased with it.
Oh, I'm absolutely delighted. I mean, to actually score a goal like that at Hampden Park in the semi-final is a bit special. I'm also very tired, but the result is right, so it doesn't make any difference.
The game was played at some pace. Obviously, you're feeling that now.
Yeah, well, I haven't played for 2 weeks. I had an injury. I picked up an injury early on when I started, just signed for Aberdeen, which held me back a bit. But I'm pleased with the way I played. Obviously, I came off towards the end because I was very tired, but the goal compensated for my tiredness.
Quite a few penalty claims turned down by the referee, Celtic penalty claims. Did you feel you get let off the hook now and again, Ian?
No, I don't think so. I thought we played very well. Taking nothing away from Celtic, they played Well, two, but I thought we took control of the game in the second half. We played good football, created a few chances in the second half, and I feel we deserved to win.
It got a bit ill-tempered towards the end, but of course it is a semi-final, so much at stake.
Yeah, well, I thought the referee handled the game very well. That's what he's there to do. We played a normal game, didn't get into any of the fracas, but we got the right result.
You're in the final, Alec. Can you win it this time around?
Well, again, it's a great game to look forward to. I mean, we've lost the last two finals and they've been very close affairs, maybe third time lucky. Rangers done very well last night, so I think there's another classic in store for the fans.
Alec, thanks very much. Well, not surprisingly, it was a frustrated Billy McNeill who spoke after the match. In his view, there was a genuine feeling that the Cup could have gone to Parkhead this year.
There was, you know, circumstances obviously have resulted in us losing out on a whole lot of players, which I think on tonight's game we just really couldn't cope with. And obviously with Roy Aitken sending off, we've lost another player. And there's no doubt in my mind that Jim Bett had made his mind up he was going down, and as far as I'm concerned went down, was prepared to go down and get one of his colleagues sent off.
Controversial words. The final is not to be for Celtic this time around, but Billy McNeill, thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Well, Davy, controversial words right enough. What do you make of what Billy McNeill was saying there?
Well, it's a very emotive game at the best of times, Jim, and Billy obviously feels very strongly that the referee was wrong, and he's also critical of Jim Bett.
It's quite unusual for a statement like that to be made after a game, isn't it?
Well, that's right, and he's had time to think about it, so he obviously, you know, he feels he has to take a stand in this. But I think we'll see from the pictures later on that Jim Bett actually goes to the referee to try and take the heat out of the situation. Perhaps he's saying to the referee that he shouldn't send Roy Aitken off.
Generally, do you think the Dons were worthy winners tonight?
Well, you have to give them credit, Jim, to come down to Glasgow because it's really like a home match for Celtic. And they played very well, but to be fair to Celtic, they will play worse this season and win. It was two very good sides tonight, and perhaps Aberdeen just shaded it in the end.
When the goal came, it was a bit special, wasn't it? Ian Cameron took it absolutely beautifully, didn't he? Great left foot he's got on him.
Well, I think Ian Cameron enjoyed the little bit extra room you get when you're playing at Hampden, and it was a good passing move by Aberdeen. They strung about 5 passes together, and when the ball comes down to Ian Cameron, he just looks up and clips it into the top corner. Pat Bonner has had no chance at all.
It was more of a chip than a shot, wasn't it, Davy, when you see it again like that?
Well, that's right. Pat's just come off his line a little bit, and really he couldn't be any more accurate than that. The goalkeeper has had no chance at all.
And he was back after a 2-week absence, so I mean, obviously he was well pleased with his individual contribution tonight.
Well, he would be. He's only come into the side the last couple of weeks, Jim, and as he said tonight, he's played 3 times at Hampden, and he's won every time, so he'll be confident for the final.
Now, in young Cameron's view, the referee handled the game very well. But what about the talking point at the end when Big Roy Aitken gets sent off? There's some doubt, did Jim Bett dive or was he fouled?
Well, from the Hampden press box tonight, Jim, I thought it was a foul. Having looked at the pictures again, I think it's a pretty innocuous tackle. I don't think it's worth a booking, and you can even see Jim Bett there going to Brian McGinley. I think he was going to suggest that it wasn't worth a booking, a second booking, which obviously would mean Roy Aitken being sent off.
That's right. I think Jim Bett was going to the referee, and then of course he got caught up with Roy Aitken, who was obviously quite aggrieved about it all. There it is again. That's
right. There's not a great deal in it. If it happened in the first half, I doubt very much if Brian McGinley would have booked Roy Aitken for that. So I think Roy perhaps entitled to be aggrieved about that.
It certainly boiled over at the end, David, didn't it? It was always going to happen. I got that feeling tonight. There was always going to be something like that going to happen.
It's just a pity, Jim, that the game ended